What's up, guys? Chris with CNC for Newbies here. Um, Wanted to go live and show you guys uh, Brian Found from uh, FCD uh, Found's Custom Designs on Etsy. He's also a member of the groups. Sent me a cool dust boot to talk about. Um, This thing, it's a 3D printed 4-inch or 2-inch version, 2.5-inch version, I'm sorry. So it'll do a regular dust collection, or it will do a um, Cyclone 4-inch hose. And what's nice about this is the CNC for Newbies, most people are using the 80 millimeter round body spindles. This slides right onto it. So that's really cool to be able to have that clamp on the actual spindle. And it just has this lock in the back, nice and tightens it up nice and tight. And there are a couple things with this that I was really surprised at. Brian took a lot of time to think this through and figure out some different issues, I'll say. One of which is actually mounting this and the hose. So instead of having a long arm unsupported of hose on the spindle mount, he has a secondary mount that goes down over top of it. Really like this design. The top is threaded, and with it being threaded, you just screw your clamp or your hose itself right onto it. Once again, it fits right on the spindle, the 80 millimeter spindle. And this is like a very few piece product that's out there right now. That he's been kind of modifying and testing and everything like that. Another addition to it is his Z-chain mount. So he actually has a drag chain for the Z-axis that also doubles as a hose holder. And I really like this aspect of it because it holds and supports the 4-inch hose into this setup, but then also gives you the ability to have your drag chain supported. It comes with short bristles and long bristles, so you have two different brushes. You can actually see, okay? And then on top of that, he has these add-ons, and you can buy the add-ons to actually stack those and move it down, up or down, based on what your need for a project is. I really like that aspect. And this one, okay, this one, I really like. This is a temperature gauge and a flow meter, and it mounts on the back up there, and it basically runs. It'll tell you that your fluid is running without having to look in the bucket or anything like that, and it'll tell you the temperature of it. I first saw this whenever I went to Matt Yule's house, and I didn't see a necessity for it necessarily with the radiator setup that Matt had, but I did like the setup itself to see the temperature and see that it's flowing. So this is a great addition to everything else to know that your spindle has the water flow that it needs and what the temperature of that water flow is. So if you want to chill it, you throw some Gatorade bottles thrown in the freezer, throw it in the water, that'll take the temperature down, everything like that. This also doubles as the backside drag chain mount. So all in all, everything coming together, this dust boot is probably the best design that I have seen so far for my application. I'm definitely going to use it on my machines. Um, this thing, it doesn't interfere with the home switches. It doesn't interfere with the actual movement of the machine. I'm able to actually put the dust boot off and on, the actual bristle part off and on, to do my zeroing and everything. So all in all, I really think that this is going to be my dust boot of choice. Um, I like it. There's really nothing I can say about it that I would change right now. Um, it's probably the best methodically assembled dust boot that I've had on the machine. And you guys know, just look at the shop and everything like that. I don't use a dust boot. I'm not really keen on them. But I've used this one already. I like it. And I really think that this is going to be the one for me. Um, so if you get a chance, like I said, there aren't many of them out there. He doesn't advertise them or anything like that. But so far, this is probably the best dust boot that I found. If you're looking for something like that, maybe give it a try. Um, this thing here, this assembly here, really tripped me out because I like the fact of having the short bristle and long bristle, but I also like the spacers. That's a great addition. That's a great um, forethought of how to assemble and make what you need. So buy a couple of these extra spacers and bam, you've got a further down bristle holder. You can use the long bristles and space it down some more if you're doing some deep carves. Um, and I think that's about all I've got for it, other than I'm really happy with it so far. I've been real critical of some of the dust boots that I've had on to the point where I just don't use them. Um, I might actually be using more of a dust boot now. And with the quiet run spindle, I won't have too much noise coming from the spindle. I'll have the dust collector enclosed in its own area, so I won't have that noise. I should be pretty good as far as the noise that it puts out. Um, so I've got to figure that part out. And other than that, I think I'm pretty good on how I'm going to set mine up. Um, the one thing I did notice is it doesn't matter with this spindle because the ball screw Z has the spindle mount up higher, so the spindle itself has to drop down further, and it's actually just enough room for me to clamp on to the spindle body. So I think everything for my setup is going to work out. It might benefit you, it might not benefit you, but who doesn't like seeing another dust boot? I mean, we've got few and far between the work and that work well. Um, a lot of them are not a heavy infill, stuff like that. So I think I think that the design of this is actually very well thought out, and it might be something for all of us to look at. Um, I can't say if it's going to meet your needs, or maybe the Kent dust boot will meet your needs. Um, there's another one, PWM CNC. Um, they do sliding dust boot, I think. I don't know much about their dust boot. But this one right here, I think, is probably the best one I've seen to date as far as my needs go. So just something to look at. Another one of those products that I I didn't know that I needed. I knew that I needed. I just didn't know I needed that one. But I'm pretty happy with it for the first test run. Um, One thing, you can put a reducer in here and actually use the shop vac on it. I do recommend that if you're going to do that, you print your own reducer and make it a 2.5-inch hose, and slide the reducer in here and make another one to slide in here. Brian might actually even be making some of those for us, and go from there. So they can basically work with either one, either the shop vac or the Cyclone. And if you're going to upgrade to the 4-inch Cyclone hoses, I recommend just using a reducer for now and being able to use a shop vac in it. That'll make it really useful across the board. Now, other than that, I mean, like I keep going back to this. I'm really impressed with the 2 different bristles and the add-ons. That's something I've never thought of. I never actually put into play. So good job, Brian. We appreciate you, and the groups appreciate everything you're doing. You've helped a lot of people in the background, and I just want you to know we appreciate it. All right, guys. As you can see, like I said, we're doing some shop cleanup. I'll holler at you later.